Hi everyone, this is Mike and I want to show you how to add list into your web page. We're going to show you how to work with what we call as an unordered list and a ordered list. And simply if we look at that, sometimes when you look at the term you're like, what? So what there really is basically a bulleted list and a numbered list. And we're going to show you how to incorporate the codes into a web page, and then go ahead and we're going to use styles to kind of semi enhance that list. And right now what I have on my screen is on the left hand side of the notepad. It's a web page that's already been created, has all the right codes. You'll notice that at the top here we have the style tag, and there's certain styles already applied. And then of course down here at the bottom we have certain tags already sectioned off, such as the H1 tag and the H2 tag. And over here on the right is the browser that shows you what the website's going to look like. So based on the code that's over here on the left, this is what you're going to see right here on the right hand side. So let's go in and modify this. Well, I do want to point out one thing before we get started. Notice the margin. Notice how the text is not lining to the left edge of the browser. There's a little extra margin. This is because of style sheets. So if I look over here to my notepad and I look at where H2P is at the very bottom, it'll say margin hyphen left. And what you're doing is you're adding a little left margin that is basically the width of 120 pixels. So it's a nice little feature of cascading style sheets, and we talked about it in some previous videos um, with styles as well. So let's add a list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to where the hours are in my notepad. I'm going to press my enter key, and the first thing I want to do is I'm going to create what we call as a ordered list, which is a numbered list. So we have to start off with the OL tag. So again, you got to put your the greater than and less than brackets in between. So we're just putting the OL tag in. Then every item within your list, you have to list it out. You have to list it out with a tag. So the OL just indicates to the browser it's going to be a numbered list. That's all it does. So in this case, we have to list out each of the lines in the list itself. So we do that with the LI tag. LI. And I'm just going to type in Monday, Friday, and we'll just put in a little time here as well. Now don't forget to close the LI tag. So I'm going to put the /LI in. Always have to remember the closing tag. Now I'm going to press my return key. To start a new bullet or a new numbered list, we have to put another LI in. And again, don't forget about the closing LI. Now I'm done with the list, so I have to close my OL tag now. So again, whenever you have an opening tag, you're always going to have a closing tag. There's only a couple situations where you will not, such as the IMG tag for images. Now I'm going to save this, and I want to go ahead and take a look what it's going to look like over here on the right hand side. So let me go ahead and click on refresh. Now I want to scroll down here. You can see that the numbered list was added. 1, 2. Now notice we have some issues here. You'll notice that the margin is still lining on the left edge. That's because we've added new tags and we did not go up and change the margin option for that tag. So we're going to have to go back into our cascading style sheets to make that change. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add this as a separate line, and I'm just going to type in OL. Now what's going to happen here is that it's automatically it's going to apply it to the whole list. It's going to apply it to the whole list. So you don't have to go in and tell just the LI. You can be LI separate if you want to go in and work with the tag itself. So automatically it's going to apply it. So here in this case, I'm going to margin left colon, and just as what's above, I'm going to put the semicolon in. Now I could have put the information up here at the top with this, but I want to show you what happens here. So I'm going to save this and then I'm going to refresh it. Now notice that it did move the text over, and the text where it says Monday and Saturday is lined up perfectly, but the bullet or the numbered here is not. So we actually need to increase that margin a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come up here, I'm going to type in 220 instead. I'm going to save this and look what happens. Now it's moved over. Now what's really nice about this is now we can actually go in and change the numbers. So if you don't want the numbers to be 1, 2 and you want to be in Roman numerals, or maybe you want to have it in letters. So what we're going to do here is go in and add another option to my style. So I'm going to come up here and click after the semicolon. I'm going to press my enter key to move it down. And then I'm going to type in this attribute, and it's just basically you type it in exactly how I'm typing it in. It's going to be list hyphen style hyphen type, followed by a colon. Remember that colon's like an equal sign. So now you got to tell it what you want it to be equal to. So I'm just going to go in and say upper Roman. Don't forget to end the semicolon. Again, we talked about style sheets in a previous video, so we introduced it a little bit, so make sure you take a look at the previous video on that aspect. So now I'm going to save this. I'm going to refresh it over here on the right hand side. Notice now that no longer I have 1 and 2, I have the Roman numerals. I can go back in and I can make a simple change. I'm going to highlight the upper Roman. I'm going to type in lower hyphen alpha. I'm going to save this. I'm going to come over here and refresh, and now I have lowercase a and b. So if you want an uppercase, you can type in upper hyphen alpha. So this the attribute list style type has a variety of properties that you can change. So you can leave it just numbers, you can change it to upper Roman, lower Roman, or uppercase letters for the alphabet. So we can see what a numbered list looks like. So let's take a look at what a bullet list will look like. So I'm going to come down here to the very bottom, and I'm going to press my enter key a couple times here so you can see. And we're just going to type in, instead of being OL, you have to tell the browser it's going to be a bulleted list, and you do that with a UL tag. So it treats it the very same way, except now you're using UL. Now we don't do anything different except for the listing out, we're going to use the same LI tag. So nothing's going to be changed because of the order, if you're using order or unordered list. Now don't forget, you still have to put closing tags in. And don't forget, now I'm done with my list, I'm going to put a closing UL. So let's save this, and let's take a look over here in our browser by refreshing. Again, I have that same issue down at the very bottom. See how the bullets came up? But it's also on the left hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the text up here, the style. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. I'm just doing a Control C and a Control V as in Valentine. Now in this case, what you want to do is just change the OL to UL. Now I want the margin left to be identical, so 220, 220, so it lines up perfectly. Now for the character that we're working with, you can actually change the bullets. If you don't want it to be a simple circle like that, you can actually make it into a square if you wanted to. Again, you're going to use the same attribute as you do with the OL. And if you want to type it over again or copy it, that's up to you. And simply, in this case, if you just type in, for example, the word square, followed by a semicolon, and then I got to remember to put the curly brackets in. So let's take a look what it looks like now. I'm going to save it, refresh it, and notice now the bullets are squares and they've been indented in. So you can actually have a little more control working with style sheets. You can control the margin. You can control the style of the character that you're going to be work with. The other aspect too is, don't forget, you can add color if you wanted to. So if you want that text to stand out even more, let's highlight the color from up here at the top of the H2. And again, that same attribute is going to be applying, that color attribute there is for text color. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to click, I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to go ahead and save it, refresh it over here on the right, and you can see down here at the bottom the color has changed to a purple. So it's no longer black. So a lot of these, this is where cascading style sheets come into play. You get more control. So a very simple, you're just adding a list, and we're working with OL or UL, which is ordered list or unordered list. Hopefully that helps you out on understanding that a little bit better.